Welcome back to another episode of Caps Off. This one's been on the books for a couple weeks now, and he won't admit it, but he's in Miami only because of me. I'm gonna take that. He should be in Atlanta. Yeah, we're doing that now. We're starting off like that. But it is my absolute pleasure to welcome a Miami Hurricanes legend, a 5-year NFL vet, the most important thing, a 4-week fantasy football god. 4-week fantasy football god. Yeah. And someone I'm so excited to sit down with, KJ Osborn. Welcome to Caps Off, man.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, how you feeling? You look good.
I feel great. I feel great.
You look like you could be in the winter right now because you're in longs and longs, and it's.
You know, they say swag over comfort.
That's true.
Know what I'm saying? So
that is true.
I'm telling. I just came from church.
Okay.
So I'm like, you can't go, too flash. I had my chain tucked in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you walked into church with that out.
I had my chain tucked in, but no, man, I feel good. Thank you for having me.
Free agency, man. Where are we going? What are the vibes right now?
I'm trying to ask my agent the same thing, man. Yeah. No, you checking out the teams, you seeing things. You can't help but look at Minnesota. With Kyler Murray going back. Jalen Naylor, I'm so happy for him. Jay Naylor, if you see this speedy, congrats, bro.
Dude, I love
my guy. He just got 3 for 35 from the Raiders. So that spot is back open.
Yep.
Just looking around, but like home is where the heart is, and just coming from Atlanta, they are doing some new things there with new leadership and things like that. So we'll see. I mean, I got old coaches over at the Raiders,
right?
With Clint,
some good
so
teams you're mentioning.
It's a lot around. So when we get that call, my agent, he's Drew, so he's a shark. So
he knows
talking,
what he's doing.
He's talking to everybody. So praying about to see a team that fits, and we'll be there, man.
Well, Minnesota would be a great place. I would want to fit in, even if it may not be a fit. I want to fit in because now Kyler Murray's your quarterback in Minnesota. What is your perspective as someone that played for Minnesota for years now? What is your perspective in seeing Kyler Murray go to the Vikings? Because the way I see it as a fan is this is the best quarterback on paper they've had in years. And I would also say better than Kirk. And that's not a knock. It's just not as limited, from an athletic standpoint. But Kyler Murray, that's the former #1 overall pick. I think we've lost the plot of what Kyler can be. So, KJ Osborn, what are your thoughts on Kyler going to the Vikings?
It's exciting because it's new, and people like new.
Flashy toys.
People like dynamic, and the dynamics that he brings to the game. Like you said, like Kirk, he's more of a pocket quarterback, and he's gonna dial you up. You know what I'm saying? He will, kill you down the field. Dinking and dunking, that playing his style, and that's how he's had success, and he's been really good at it. And today, how many pocket quarterbacks, is it still people don't really like it that much. They want the guys running around. So from the fan perspective, they like that. You know what I'm saying? So
I love that.
Right. From a receiver perspective, we almost like Kirk. Don't run it, just sit there and throw it.
Yeah.
But Kyler, I mean, what he can add to the game.
Yeah.
I was able to see a little bit with Jaden Daniels, just how he can eliminate mistakes. Like a slippage in the O-line. He's able with his legs to eliminate those problems.
Totally.
Be able to extend plays. Throw the ball down the field, and it's just exciting and electric, man. So I'm excited about it. They say that KO is the QB guru,
the whisperer,
and, the whisperer, and guys are coming in to revive their careers. Whatever may be happening, but like you said, man, Kyler is a special talent. So I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what happens there. A ton of weapons.
Yeah.
And coming from Arizona, I've never been to Arizona myself.
Okay.
The not the city, or the state, but the team, their facilities.
Yeah.
They have a beautiful stadium.
But
from what I've heard from players around the league and the report cards, the facilities, some people don't like the facilities and they complain about this or that. So I knew when Kyler visited Minnesota,
it was over.
I'm sure it was over. Minnesota is beautiful, and I say that now haven't seen a couple teams.
Right.
Been around a little bit around NFL, and from a fan experience and facilities. Now I've heard about the Dolphins, heard about the Raiders, and a couple. Atlanta had some nice spots, but man, Minnesota the campus is amazing. The people treat you amazing. KO is great. So I figured for him coming from a place like that where the facilities, kind of all right. So
totally.
Minnesota where the staff is great, the facilities, the fan base, U.S. Bank Stadium. I figured he was gonna love it, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk report cards because I've always been curious about that, and we'll get to it when we get to Minnesota.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's unfortunate because I think we were talking off camera a little bit, but like, what's your perspective on what that means for JJ McCarthy? Because I think where I'd go with that as a fan is that I don't think he takes another snap in Minnesota. Now, it's not because he's not capable of it.
Right.
It's that KOC has kind of backed himself into a corner, which is like, I went out, I drafted this guy.
Yeah.
If I run JJ out and we have another bad season, I risk a Jjettas potentially going somewhere else. I risk this window potentially closing. Does Flores go somewhere else? Like, you're in win now, in a way.
For sure.
So you have to go out and get Kyler. I also think, as we were just saying, like, Kyler's probably the best free agent quarterback to be available in years. So it makes too much sense. What?
So you get him for cheap.
And you get him for nothing. You get him for $1 million. Like, so my opinion on the JJ situation would be that he's now entering the reclamation project 5 years from now. And it's probably best for him, right, to learn. But I'm curious from your perspective, like, do you have a thought on what that means for a JJ McCarthy? Or you think, like, no, we could still sit him behind. He's still got a couple years on that rookie deal.
Just from the outside looking in, I always tell people, like, I am an NFL player, but I'm a fan too.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, I watch, I keep up with things. Like, I'm looking, like, you know, so just from the outside looking in, you know, the situation that he stepped into, like, it was heavy. Like you said, Minnesota is a win now team, you know, and it's that piece, just like any other organization, that quarterback piece is the missing piece.
Totally.
And for them, for sure, like that quarterback piece, you know, you get that right, and you know that team can go.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, he's a rookie. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, whether he was ready or not, or you know, the performance, whatever. I think Kyler coming in is going to just boost that competition, which I think that's exactly what KO is trying to produce, and not just KO, every NFL organization.
Totally.
We just want competition.
Yeah.
And you know, I've never met JJ McCarthy, but hearing about his mindset through, like, you know, some of my boys and stuff like that, you know, super hard worker and a guy that he wants it. So I would envision that the goal for KO is to breed the best up out of him, and you know, may the best win. Like, you know, like now there is the, you know, the politics of it, of, you know, this guy is Kyler Murray. The media is going to be talking about Kyler Murray, you know, and he's going to be able to do, you know, dynamic things. So at the end of the day, you know, the best band going to play. That's what my coach, Keenan McCardell, receiver coach at Minnesota, he says, man, football's going to take care of football. Yeah. We're going to go out there, you're going to blow the whistle, you're going to get in white lines, and, you know, football take care of football. So we'll see. But I don't think it's over for him, though.
Have you seen?
I don't think it's over.
I don't think it's over. I definitely don't think it's over, because I think if maybe 2 years after Darnold in New York, you probably would say it's over. And now look at Sam Darnold, Super Bowl winning quarterback. Geno Smith.
Yeah, you see it.
Baker.
You see it.
We see it all the time, right? Which is why it makes me excited as a Dolphins fan to have Malik Willis, now, because I got a guy that wants to move outside the pocket, like you just said.
Yeah.
But have you seen any of the AI built things of JJ and Kyler?
My mom has been sending them to me. And it's not even so much. I have seen some of the things, like with the JJ and the Kyler thing, but it's Kyler, and they're talking about his height,
dude,
and he's short.
Yeah.
And I've met Kyler Murray in person, but you know, I don't think he's that short. Like, he may be shorter than, like, you know, he's 6'4".
Yeah.
But my mom was sending it to me. I'm just like, man, that ain't right. And the AI stuff is funny, man.
It's crazy. Yeah, I saw one that was like JJ McCarthy throwing Kyler in like a refrigerator in the locker room or something.
No, I seen that.
Yeah,
I seen that. I seen that. No, like the AI stuff is crazy, bro. And you have like the old people, my parents and grandparents, and they're like,
"Is that real?
Did you see that?" I'm like, "That's not real."
Dude.
I said, "It's not real." Like,
whenever my dad on it, which like maybe once every 3 weeks, I get a DM like from Reels of my dad.
Oh.
I'm like, dude, you got God.
Oh yeah, yours only once every 3. My dad sends me Facebook stuff every.
Well, that's when you know when it's the Facebook shit too.
Facebook stuff. Now, recently this week, my mom, I'm like, I almost got a call like, mom, if you're seeing this, turn your the time limit on your phone.
Ooh.
You're spending too much time on Instagram. Because I'm like, you know, you calling me, you're in a serious situation, and 3 minutes later you sending me this. I'm like, I thought you were like, you're not focused.
Has your mom gotten into TikTok yet? Because my mom is recently, within the last like 6 months on TikTok, and that's become extremely problematic. Yeah. Because now she's like scrolling, and I'm like, I don't even want to know what's on your fucking algorithm. I think she has a little bit. I think she's more into Instagram right now. Yeah. But it's me and my sister that send each other stuff on TikTok. But she sees it, but that's gonna be dangerous too when she gets a hold of that. So
Yeah. But I will say the stuff is funny. Like the stuff is funny.
I hope JJ and Kyler are both laughing about it.
Yeah.
Like even though the 9 shit, I hope JJ looks also back on the whole 9 and alter ego shit, and that like he comes back.
That helps some guys.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm training down in Atlanta with Sideline Hustle.
Okay.
And a guy named Drew Leaves, and he works with a couple guys, and they do some mental things with a mental coach. I don't know if it's Tim Grover or it's like some a really famous author, but they work on some of that, like going alter to ego? The dark side, alter ego. And this guy has worked with the Michael Jordans and the Tom Brady's and the Tiger Woods, and like it works for some people. Like, and it really does. And we talk about some of that stuff in our sessions for the guys that do it, and you go to that space.
Right.
And I've personally never done it, but
I was gonna say, KJ, what's your alter ego?
But for some guys, but you do have to get in the mode. Yeah. And I think that's something that I could be better at. Like, I'm a nice guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I could probably be better at when I get on the field being mean.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not really a trash talker. And I'm also kind of like 0 to 100. I'm either not going to talk to you at all, or we going to get there, we going to go, and I'm probably going to get a personal foul.
Yeah.
So, like, I know myself, so I almost, try to be chill, you know? But, like, it's that alter ego, like, people need it. Mamba mentality.
Yeah, Mamba mentality, but I also don't think it was, like, more like puppy mentality for JJ. It didn't work. It sucks. Like, it works for some people, and it doesn't for others. And unfortunately, like, look, if JJ was hooping, then it'd be a different story. I think no one would have clowned him, but obviously it didn't work out. Yeah. We talked about it briefly off the top, like where you're looking, but as a free agent looking for an NFL team, do you ever see teams that make some sort of addition or go for a trade and you're like, fuck, I want to play for them? Like, does that actually happen, or it's like genuinely best fit? Who's going to offer the money? Do I get playing time? That type of like aspect.
I think every situation is different. When I was first coming out of Minnesota, like my situation was a little different than it is now.
Right.
But I mean, I think all those things, it's kind of like the luxuries that you are afforded. Like, like some guys, they can be like, do I want to live in this city? It was like, okay, we can't pick that right now. Stuff like that. But I think it is the fit, because you want it to make sense.
Totally.
There's the guys that they're paying, the draft picks, the special teams depth charts and things like that. Like, you definitely. But I feel like one of the things that I learned last season being a free agent was so much of this stuff is based on connections. And it's helped me, like, on the field and off the field, and just, creating connections, staying in contact with people, why it's so important, making a good first impression, and, even, being in the locker room, because those coaches and assistant coaches go on to be, head coaches and GMs and, all types of stuff like that. So much about, like, even my, how I got to Atlanta was mostly because of Kirk Cousins. That's why I'm saying, like, going back to Minnesota, going to a place like the Raiders with Clint Kubiak, who is, on the staff that drafted me. Right. Like, so many guys you see go back to former quarterbacks, coordinators, or coaches. So, like, those are more of the places that, kind of fit, like, when you're kind of looking around, because you with people,
Yeah, you want familiarity, you want to feel comfortable.
They trust you because they've seen the things that you've done.
100%.
Not just, on the game field, but, on the practice field. Like, so, like, they have access to things that, a lot of other coaches don't, because they were with you for, every single day. So let's say some of the things like that for me.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I'd love to see you back in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fucking sick. With Kyler, Jjettas, Addison, Hawk. Yeah. They got Aaron Jones back.
Yeah.
I think we're about to see a 13-win season again. 12-win season.
I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I think that they do have a really good season headed there. Like, I think even was it not last year, but the year before. Like, I'm because Minnesota drafted me. Like, I said, this home is always where the heart is. So I'm always rooting for them. And they had an early, like, playoff exit. I'm like, dang, like,
yeah, that's tough.
I didn't feel it like I lost, but I'm like, dang, like, I wanted them to win, because those, not just like, the city, but like, those are my brothers, so I talked to JJ a lot. I just seen, me and Jordan Addison were just in New York, like, last week. Like, we talk all the time. So although I'm not in the locker room with them every day, it's like, because we talk all the time, see each other.
You're still connected.
Yeah, so it almost feels like we still, like, I'm still there. So, but it's cool though. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
All right, let's get the brain moving a little bit. All right, let's get like the jitters out. I want us to like put our heads together a little bit. All right, so KJ Osborn, in honor of March Madness, I want us right now, through the first month of free agency, who would be the Elite 8 teams in the NFL heading into 2026? right? So this is in honor of March Madness. And you and I can do it together. It's essentially the top 8 teams from our perspective as we put our heads together. Doesn't have to be 4 AFC, 4 NFC. Just the top 8 off the dome, who we would think in honor of March Madness. That's how I would phrase it.
Off the top, I think the Rams are cooking.
Dude, with Trent?
I think the Rams are cooking.
You saw they might get A.J. Brown?
The Rams are cooking.
What the How?
I don't know. I don't know where the money is coming from, but the Rams are cooking. And when I seen the A.J. Brown thing...
what do they do with Devontae? Or is that just a trio now?
I don't know. It's like the weapon, like it's like they can't get enough weapons. You know, it's like, it's crazy.
I do like the Rams pick. I feel like that you could literally go the Seahawks also with that.
The Seahawks. Now, you can write it down, but
you want me to write it down? Or you want me to take them away?
You can write it down.
Okay.
But I will say like an asterisk, because when these teams lose their coordinators, it's like, how do they look? You know, like we seen Detroit.
Yep.
Which I think Detroit is a powerhouse. But then, you know, they lost Ben Johnson, you know, like in Aaron Glenn. It was like, not that they fell off or anything like that, but it was a little different.
No, I wouldn't say, I mean, look, they were at the top, so it's easy to fall down.
Yeah. But it was like, it was a little different. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I think Seattle is a good team. I'm interested to see the 49ers with Mike Evans.
I was going to say,
That's, you know, they got Dre Greenlaw back.
Yep.
You know, like that defense.
Wait, they signed Dre?
Yep, they signed Dre
Holy
Greenlaw
shit,
back.
I missed that.
I'm interested to see, wondering if Debo will go back there. Like if Debo
get the band back together.
Yeah, like that would be pretty interesting to see. I think he's still a free agent. That would be pretty interesting to see. Yeah. I would like to see.
So you put the Niners in there?
I'll put the Niners in there.
Okay, so we got three NFCs right now. I'm blanking out too.
My cousin, he's a big Broncos guy. Not a fan, but he believes in them. He likes Bo Nix. He likes Bo Nix.
We got KJ's cousin in here also, Amir. So
he likes Bo Nix. Broncos. I thought they had a chance to go to the Super Bowl, so you know, see Bo Nix go down. I'm like, dang.
So we put in Broncos. You want Broncos in there? You want Broncos in there?
Let's put them on the show. They're
right
right
let's
there.
Put it in the back pocket.
Let's right there. Right there.
We'll come back to them.
You got to talk about the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean,
if Tyreek goes back, you got to put him in
I don't even
there.
think even if Tyreek doesn't go back, I don't know what's going to happen with Rashi off the field. There's been some question marks, but
yeah.
If they get like a Kenyon
they just lost, you know, McDuffie.
Yeah.
But the Titans just released Snead, so maybe he goes back there. Top 8. I don't want to do it. You got to put the Eagles in there.
Okay, so we go Eagles. I like that.
They got so much star power.
So much star power.
They got a lot of star power.
Even if they trade AJ, I think they're still there.
If they trade AJ, I do not think they're there.
Really?
No. And like AJ is good.
Yeah.
AJ Brown, one of my favorite receivers. He's a good player, and you know, like, you know, they definitely got to, like, they would just have to fill that. They would have to fill those shoes with somebody, and it can't be like somebody normal if they. Yeah. But they just got a lot of star power.
Well, I also just don't think Smitty's a 1, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Yeah. I think I got into an argument with Robbie Chosen months ago about this.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing if you're 1, 2, any of those. It's how you fit into an offense, and body type is a big thing. Yeah. And he didn't like that as much because he's also a slender guy like Smitty. But we got into it and it was fun. But
the Eagles have, like, I remember we played them with the Commanders, like the NFC Championship game, and I'm watching the game, and our first drive, I think we go for it on 4th down like 2-3 times, and we like, you know, we fight. Yeah. I think we almost take up all the clock out the first quarter. I think we go down and we kick a field goal.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember if we made it or missed. I think we made it. And first play, Saquon, 60. And the place just explodes. Yeah. I'm like, bro. And it's like, then we'll be fighting. They do a couple plays, A.J. Brown for 40. You know, Saquon again. You know, it's just like, so sometimes, like, they are putting drives together, but just with all that star power, man, like, those guys just are just one play. You know what I'm saying? And they're doing it. So
that 24 Eagles team is like Thanos.
They were good, bro.
They're inevitable.
They were good.
All right, so we got the Eagles in. We got Rams, Eagles, Seahawks, Niners. You wanted to put Chiefs in there or no? All right, we got Chiefs back pocket with the Broncos.
Maybe I'm not showing.
I see Amir thinking about it
maybe
too.
I'm not showing the AFC enough love.
Well, all right, let's go through AFC. Ravens, Broncos, Patriots, Chiefs, Bengals, Bills.
You got to put the Bills in there.
Okay.
You got to put the Bills in there.
I like that they got DJ. Finally giving Josh Allen some help. All right, Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Eagles, Bills.
How many is that?
That's 5. We need 3 more. Elite 8.
Oh my gosh.
And the NFC, we still got. We went through the Rams.
You gotta put.
Ooh. Amir said, bringing up Detroit.
I feel like you gotta put one of them. You gotta put one of them AFC teams over there though, like the Chiefs or the Broncos, or even
Jags,
like the Ravens. Nah, they're not top 8. Not top 8. They're a good team. They're a good team for sure. Not top 8.
I do like Jacksonville though.
When I watch podcasts, I feel like I'm seeing somebody on the screen like, bro, you're tripping. Like, you're tripping.
No.
I'm not talking about the Chiefs.
This what
tripping.
That's what I always say.
You're not talking about the Broncos.
Well, people don't realize.
You gotta put the Broncos in there.
Okay,
you gotta
we'll
put the Broncos.
You
got for sure. You gotta put the Broncos in there. You gotta put the Broncos in there for sure.
What people don't realize is everyone's watching and they're like, "How are you forgetting that?"
Yeah, right.
The lights are so bright in here. Not just like literally bright. It's like you can't remember that teams exist.
Yeah, I'm trying to I don't want to do anybody a disservice. I feel like we got most of the team we got the like 6 I think that go to your head as of like for sure.
Now you have Chiefs, Ravens. You could go Patriots again. Mm-hmm. You could show me some love and put the Dolphins in there. You can go Packers. You can go Minnesota with Kyler.
I was thinking that some people might put the Bears in there, bro. Oh, some people might put the Bears.
But do you?
Do I?
We can do this democratically also, the 3 of us.
Drafted from Minnesota, I can't put the Bears in there.
Good for you.
I would put Minnesota in there before, like over them. I would like to see like some of the other pieces that Minnesota like brings in. You know, like they paid a couple guys and then like they lost them. We're trying to see what's going on with Harry. You know, whether he retires or not. Some things like that.
Fuck.
Put the Chiefs in there, bro. You gotta put the Chiefs in there. You gotta put the Chiefs. What's that, 7?
That's 7. Let's get the Chiefs in there.
You gotta put the Chiefs in there.
One spot left.
That last spot.
The Elite 8.
For the Elite 8.
In honor of March Madness. I'm also like
the Ravens.
Yeah,
you got Minnesota. I think you might have to put the Bears, bro. Yeah. Or the Lions, but the Lions was a different team last year.
Or the Packers with Micah? No.
Not a healthy Micah. You know,
are we missing teams in the AFC? Am I bugging?
No, like I feel like if the Bengals had a better defense, like they would be there.
All right, we'll go through division. AFC East: Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots. Patriots are an interesting one. AFC South: Titans, Jags, Texans, Colts. Yeah. Interesting. AFC North: Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, and Browns. And then the AFC West, we got Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos.
No, I don't think we missed nobody.
Okay. Then we go to the NFC East, Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Commanders. NFC.
I think I like the Commanders, the moves that they're making this offseason. If they, I'm interested to see who they draft. I wonder if they draft like a receiver high.
Yeah.
They just picked up they got De'Ami back. Van Jefferson. I've always liked his game. He runs good routes. Healthy Jaden. They signed Rashad White.
They got Rashad and they got Jerome Ford, which is an interesting one. Mm-hmm. I would have loved to have seen them get Jeremiah Love, but
they signed a couple of new DBs. I like the moves that they're making over there. So I think one more like splash piece. Like I'm interested to see because what I seen from them last year, like I didn't really expect that. But I don't think that's like a reflection. Like they're like a bad team, but like. I'm wondering, like, can they like that first year, like, So I'm interested to see that. I'm interested to see them.
All right, we got
like
7.
A sleeper.
Who's that 5th? That last 8th?
I'm gonna go with
shot clock. 5, 4.
Unfortunately.
Ooh, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
You gotta respect the Bears, bro. Like what they did, like you gotta respect it. Like
I get it.
No, they just lost DJ Moore. You can't put them in there, cause who gonna fill that role?
Well, they have Luther Burden. They got Colson Loveland. They got Rome. I would have no issues if you took any of those NFC North teams.
I like Minnesota with Kyler.
Fuck yeah.
I like Minnesota with Kyler. I think that roster is good. I think with that offense, like with Kyler, and they like if he wins the starting job, I think they score points.
He's winning the starting job.
And I also think that KO's gonna throw the ball.
Fuck yeah.
I think Kyler's gonna extend plays. Yeah. I think with Brian Flores' defense, if they can play with the lead and he's blitzing, he's doing his thing. Yeah, I'll put him in there as a sleeper. For
sure. Yeah. I love that list. Yeah. So the top, let's see. The Elite 8 go Chiefs, Minnesota, Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Eagles, Bills, Broncos. I think that's right there.
Yeah.
people are gonna argue because people are angry, but we'll see it on social.
Yeah.
Before we jump in NFL, because we gotta talk Miami, right? Like you're a UM legend, right? You're watching that Miami run, right? They finally sneak in. They get in. They beat A&M.
Snuck in.
Yeah. And they shouldn't have snuck in. I was at A&M.
Yeah.
I was at that game. So they beat A&M. They upset Ohio State. They beat Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl, and then they play IU back home for the Natty. KJ Osborn, as a UM alum, you're watching that run. FOMO? Are you jealous? Are you proud because you laid the foundation? Like, what are you feeling?
No, I'm hyped, bro. Like, I don't even use Twitter that much. I think if you look at my last couple of tweets, it's straight Miami, Malachi Tony. Like, I'm hyped. I'm talking trash. This is my first offseason that I've been in Atlanta, but most of the time, being in the league, I've been down here.
Yeah.
So I always go to spring ball practices. Like, I'm around. I've seen the guys. Like, Mally, his last spring, we were going up and watching film, like with the coaches in there. Those guys are coming in. The young guys are. I'm giving them some pointers and some tips and things like that. Those guys are working hard. I think I've been like to the last couple years. Like I come up to a couple spring ball practices.
Yeah.
Just trying to put it together. Watching them, and so this year to see it. Like coming into fruition, and they start making some plays. We were wondering what was going to happen with the Carson Beck situation. How would he, perform? I think he did well. So yeah, man, I was proud. Now I was talking trash. I'm throwing up the U. The U was back. The U was back. Of course, they're gonna say, "Oh, y'all gonna lose to Indiana. Y'all gonna lose to Indiana."
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, we here. Like the U is back. So I'm proud. I'm happy to see it, man.
Dude, it's unbelievable to be able to watch Miami go on a run like that for a school that has so much history. It's good for college.
Yeah, for college
to have
football.
Miami there.
Yeah, and it's good for the city too. Like everybody wants to see the Canes win. Like everybody wants to see it. And that's why we face so much hate. Dude. That's why we almost didn't get in it.
Right.
And it's like imagine if they would have left us out. Like and it's like I also like for what happened with them, and it was Notre Dame, right?
Yeah. And
it was like because now it makes these first games of the season, they matter. It's not just the big kickoff classic. Rolling it out there, like for the media. Like, no, this game matters because if you lose this game, there's a possibility you don't get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Notre Dame had to be like the sheep for that that example. But what other team would you rather do it against? So
it's also funny. Like I've had this argument. I use it all the time because in football we only get one game, but in other sports you get best of 7.
Yeah.
So Miami versus IU, best of 7. Miami's still winning at least 4-3. Right. We're still winning best of 7.
Yeah,
so we belong there.
Yeah, for sure. I think we show we belong too. So and now that's what I was saying. Like the college football world, they don't want Miami to get back.
No,
because with NIL, what kid does not want to come live in Miami? You get paid to live in Miami. Miami is winning. Like it's gonna be unfair. It's like it's gonna be like Miami. It's gonna be the USCs, like these big cities with the money. And, as long as we, keep us a quarterback, like I think we're gonna stay there. And then now all the kids from home, the Jeremiah Smiths that go away and things like that, they want to stay home and they want to put on for the crib.
I know Jeremiah wishes he could transfer, but like he can't. Like I genuinely feel like Jeremiah Smith when he was asked that question. I think before
I'm sure it's
a
part of his heart. He's like, of course, of course he loves Ohio State, but it's like now it would like what if that would have been cool, like for sure.
It's also like I went to the Natty.
Yeah.
And that was the first time like I feel like I actually sat down and was forced to watch Mendoza play ball. Like, look, Mendoza could be good in the NFL.
Yeah.
He really could.
Yeah.
But we were talking Kyler a little bit. I wanted Kyler to go to the Raiders. That was not even something that was discussed. That was not even, I didn't even see it anywhere. But the Raiders with the number 1 pick. If you're picking number 1, you better have all this conviction in the world that this dude is Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Mahomes or Trevor Lawrence. Now, granted, obviously Mahomes didn't go 1 overall, but if you're picking one, you need to have the conviction. And I feel like there's too much volatility with all these scouts or analysts that are like, oh, you asked this person, oh, he's going to be amazing. You asked this person, he's like, I don't know if he's good. Ty Simpson might be better, right? You have there's too much.
Yeah.
So I would have loved to have seen Kyler go to Vegas. Yeah. Vegas trades that 1.
Ooh.
And builds around Kyler still at 28. Yeah. That was what I wanted to see. But what are your thoughts on, Fernando Mendoza?
I think he's good. I think he's good. I told my cousin like maybe 2 months ago, I'm like, watch out for the Raiders.
Right.
I said the Raiders with $90 million in cap space in a city that free agents want to go to with no state taxes, with a new coach, with a dynamic offense. You know, Tom Brady's over there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are going to want to go play for the Raiders. I said, I think if Mendoza can come in, do well. You know, they're signing free agents. The Max Crosby thing was crazy. But he's back.
Crazy.
I think you'll see, like, similar to maybe like a Detroit or a Chicago. Like, they weren't like that bad. Like Detroit, like when I was growing up, Detroit was bad, bro. But like over the next couple years, I think like you'll start to see like Vegas climb up. Like this year, like they might be that they'll be sneaky, and then it's like almost like the Commanders. You know, it was like, you know, they didn't do well, and then it was like, whoa.
Yeah,
you know, like now a lot of that will, you know, depend on, you know, Mendoza's always start with your quarterback, but if he can come in and play well, and, you know, I think Vegas is an attractive place where like free agents want to come.
Yeah, is it? Is Vegas actually like a place that players would want to go? And is that because, like, and I'll just answer that from my vantage point, is like, I feel like Brady would be the biggest draw in Vegas outside of other things. It's like, I just know that there's someone at the top that gets it.
I think it's some of that. I think it's like the leaders, you know, like a Max Crosby, you know, who's serious about winning. You know, and then you talk about, you know, like I said, there's tiers of like what guys can choose from. You go to, you're playing in a good city. You know what I'm saying? There's no state taxes. You know, you're playing in Vegas in a team that's competitive. I think people like that. People are drawn to that, and you get a piece, and then you get the number one pick, and then you maybe get another, you know, star player. You know, a couple primetime games, and now there's attention. It's like, dang, like that's what happened with the Commanders that year, and it's like people. Dan Quinn was talking about like people want to come play for the Commanders. It was like people sneak. I'm like, dang, like even though I was with the Patriots at the, like, you know, before, and I'm hearing about these Commanders. It's like, you know, but I wasn't watching because I was playing. But I'm like, Commanders really good like that, huh? And then when I got there, I didn't even know we were as good as we were.
Yeah, you were blessed.
And I'm watching, and I'm like, you know, we go to play Detroit, and we beat them. I'm like, dang, we good. I'm like, you know, it was cool to see, you know, I was kind of, you know, watching it play before my eyes. But no, I think Vegas can be sneaky. I think in the next couple of years, like they'll do well. You know who I'm also, this is different. I'm also excited to see is the Giants.
The Giants.
I think the Giants
sneaky.
are making some moves.
Yes.
I think the Jets are making some moves.
Okay. KJ.
They got Geno Smith. You know, like I said, I think Geno's a good quarterback. I think he wasn't like the best situation last year, but the year before.
But the Jets.
I think not right now. But in a couple years, like, you know, like people like New York, like New York City.
You're not mentioning Miami. No faith there. Okay, that's cool. No, that's right on. For sure.
I gotta see. Yeah. You know, like not any disrespect to him. I just gotta see. You know,
no, it's fine.
Miami gotta come along though, because the Bills are taking off.
Yeah.
Patriots are taking off. You know, like that division. Like,
no, we gotta figure it the fuck out.
We gotta get going.
And I say we because I am in the trenches as a Dolphins fan. My last thought with Miami is I gotta ask you out of the gate, top of mind, KJ Osborn. I want you to rank the 4 wide receiver U's, right? So wide receiver U's to me would be right now Alabama, LSU, OSU, Ohio State, right? And USC. So rank these 4 colleges based off of who is wide receiver.
Say one more time.
Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, and USC. Now I'm not even going all time, right? I like when I think of Bama, Julio, Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper, that type of stuff. When I think of like LSU, obviously Jamar, Jjettas, OBJ, Juice, Malik Neighbors. Then you got Ohio State, JSN, Jeremiah Smith's not in the league, but he will be, and he will be an elite guy. You have Olave, Garrett Wilson, you have all these guys, Marv. And then when it comes to USC, now you have Amon-Ra, Michael Pittman, Drake London. How would you rank those 4? Because I have it in my head, I feel like.
As much as I want to say LSU is wide receiver U, I got to give it to Ohio State.
Yeah, probably.
You got it just because, like, the history, like, the longevity. Like, they got older guys. They got, you know, guys. They got guys in high, like the little, what's his name? Chris Hilton, like a little freshman that they got. Like they got guys retired and guys, like, on the way with the Jeremiah Smiths. It's, like, and everything in between. The Terry, like, you know, like, they got everybody. Scary Terry, They got a bunch of guys, man.
So you go 1, Ohio State.
I'm going LSU 2.
Yeah.
I'm going LSU 2. I'm going Bama 3 and USC 4.
I think that's a good list.
Yeah.
I probably would have done flipped LSU, Ohio State, just because the top right now.
Yeah, I'm saying right now, you know, LSU is hot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
LSU
Ohio
is
State
hot
too.
Yeah,
because you have JSN as well.
Yeah.
You have Olave, you have Scary.
Yeah,
you have Garrett Wilson. You have Marv, who hasn't performed but still an elite guy.
They're there,
and now you have Emeka Igbigbu. You seen that shit?
Guys.
The Gronk stuff when he called Emeka Igbigbu.
Oh no, I seen that.
Yeah.
But it's just like JJ and Jamar, like, which is what they've been able to accomplish. Like everybody, like all those players are great, and like, but it's like the way JJ and Jamar had success in college, then came in the league and just were instant superstars and breaking all these records, and it was special. So
all right, now let's jump to Minnesota.
Yeah,
right. You drafted into Minnesota. Before we get into like something that I'm really, really curious about, which is like your experience through the Kirko Chainz. Like what people don't realize about, I think, KJ Osborn is that you were also drafted with Jjettas, right?
Yeah.
Like Jjettas goes in the first round.
Yeah, we also trained together in the combine.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
KJ Osborn trains with Jjettas. He gets drafted in the 5th round. Jjettas goes in the 1st round. Like, did you feel early on that you were competing with Justin Jefferson for time, because you didn't know, we didn't know who he like actually was and what he would become? Like, did you feel like, yo, I'm also coming in for the exact same spot, or was it, all right, your 1st round, there was preferential treatment in some ways?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. There was no like competing. I was drafted as a like return specialist for real. I kind of turned into a receiver. Yeah, like I was, like I remember I met the GM. He didn't talk about any receiver. Yeah. He told me, you been catching punts? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I've been catching punts, like, whatever. And, when you come into the NFL, they tell you so much about special teams, how important it is. But, like, that was my job. Like, I didn't take a snap of offense my rookie year. Like, not a run play, not a blocking play, not taking a knee. Yeah. I didn't take a snap. I was a special teams player. And then coming into OTAs that next year, I was determined. I came in pissed off. And, I did well. And, my career had changed since then. But absolutely not. I knew JJ was a really good player. So I met him down at IMG where we were training at. That whole LSU crew that came in, we were training with Mo Wells, who also went to LSU. I thought he was special there. He goes in the 1st round. I'm waiting on the couch, waiting for that call. Minnesota calls, and I was at that time I wasn't really close to Jay. Like I knew him, from training together a little bit, but we got drafted together, and then like the rest is history. I just talked to him maybe 2 days ago. We talk often, but I knew he was really special. I always tell my parents, the first 2 games JJ didn't play like that.
Yeah, not at all.
But he was like, mind you, we didn't have training camp. Right. We didn't have OTAs, I believe, because it was COVID.
It was COVID year. Yeah,
we didn't have preseason. Yeah. So like when we got there, it was time to go. Yeah. And at the time there was a kid there named BC Johnson who was there before. I think in the 7th round. He was doing well. Like you know what I'm saying. And it was like they were just gonna try to make JJ like have to come in and compete like you do. Right. I'm back there catching kickoffs one time. JJ comes back there, and coach is like, "Get out of here! You ain't catching no punch. I ain't catching nothing." Like so, from day one, like he wasn't gonna,
he did get the preferential treatment.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But it's like first 2 games he didn't play that much. And then I think it was the 3rd game. We were about to play the Titans. They said they were gonna start him, or it was Titans or the Colts, one of them, and I think it was the Colts. No, it was the Titans because it was against Malcolm Butler. And my mom, I think she asked me, like, how you think he's going to do? And I was like, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think he's going to do really good. I'm like, no, he's really good. I just haven't seen him do it yet, like, in the game. Yeah. Like, he had a couple catches, but I'm like, no, I think he's going to be, like, really good. Yeah. And I think he almost had like 180 or something.
Was that the game? Because when I think of Jjettas in his rookie year, I feel like there was like he caught some deep ball
going across the middle. That was his first touchdown.
Yeah.
I think what was that route called? I called it like a beeline. Yeah. They talked about it, caught it, split the guys. He's grittying. He's looking at the sideline. And that time, like before that time, it was the gritty. JJ never grittied. That was his first time gritty.
That was the first touchdown.
He never did it in practice. He never he never did it. And it was just so sweet. Like I wish for him that the fans would have been there. Yeah. Like, and he broke off 2 guys, and he looks at the sideline. He's like looking at us like that, and he gets the gritty in. Like it was so sweet, bro. It was. He got one of the coolest like first NFL touchdowns in his career. Like it never was the same. It just, and he became like an instant superstar. So But no, yeah, that's that's one of my closest friends. Really, really cool. Just being able to practice with him every day and see his work ethic. And then obviously all the time we've been able to spend together in the offseason.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah,
and I think a majority would say him or Jamar. I would say Jjettas for a variety of reasons. KJ Osborn as someone that's played with Jjettas, as someone that's been in the wide receiver room with Jjettas, as someone that's very close with Jjettas. What's something that fans don't understand about what makes Jjettas the best receiver in the NFL? Man. Because and I'll kind of butt in because my thought would be what makes Jjettas is his technicality as a receiver. Like we see Jamar and people are like, he breaks off for 70 and then bounces off this guy. And it's like there's a different sex appeal with the way he plays. Yeah. Jjettas is just
I'm trying to think about how in depth I can go to the viewer. Or as far as like not like anything, but it's like the football knowledge.
Yeah.
It's like because I can start. I can start with like
you want.
JJ's his frame, like his body frame. He's like a slender kind of guy. Me and my boy Tristan always talks about. He was on the Vikings. He's super bow-legged, so like his legs are kind of bent.
They are.
So when you are breaking and you moving, like his legs are already going in that way, so he's able to push off more. So he's able to create more like slinginess, and it's like to the DB. So where if I'm running at you because I'm like a more like stockier guy, it's gonna look like I'm just running at you this way. And JJ's already kind of
he's got motion,
slinging, like his upper body, when he's kind of already running. So that affects the DB.
Totally.
I think his stride length. KO always talks about it. Like we'll have routes where for everybody else is 7. JJ is 5 because his stride length is so long. So if you from a defensive back perspective, like he's running at you, like he's getting up on you quick. His ability to coming out of breaks without changing speed. He does that really well. And then obviously he catches the ball. He catches everything. So I think just like some of those things like that people, may be able to see, but he works that stuff. Like when he gets on the field, like he works hard. Like he works his butt off. He's not taking, reps off. And I remember he was going through the contract things and people were like, oh, is he going to sit out and this. I'm like, no, that's not JJ. Like JJ wants to play football, man. Like he loves the game. He wants to play the game. He's chasing a gold jacket. He's chasing, how high can he go? And I was really hoping he got that 1,000 yards this year. I was happy for that because I know how hard he works, and he cares like truly about the game of football. Like the money comes with it, and the fames and the chains and the JJ. Like that stuff is cool. But when he puts that helmet on, like he loves the game of football. So I would say those couple things.
That was a good answer.
Yeah,
that was you pulled all the stops out for that. You're like, how technical should I get? And then you went for it. I think also when I look at Jjettas, like I'm glad he got Kyler. Like, and we'll just leave it at that because I think wide receivers deserve to have also someone that can get them the ball. And I just think, as we talked about with JJ, like it was difficult for that to happen. He still got the 1,000. Yeah. So that's a good answer. I like Jjettas. Jjettas is my number one. But something I gotta ask you about. KJ Osborn, you were there for Kirko Chainz moment, right? You were on the plane home from London. I asked Alexander Madison about this, his experience. Yeah. What was KJ's experience as Kirko Chainz was born on the plane and he's doing everything?
Yeah, at first I was trying to sleep. Yeah. And I'm trying to sleep and then they're like blasting music. Yeah. And we're all in first class. I'm like, I guess I'm staying up. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I think I don't even know if I watched the game on the iPad, but it was like an 8-hour flight. Yeah. And then music is playing and it's like, hey, guys, doing whatever. And then it's like a crowd of people. And I'm like, what's going on? And I kind of like peek up and, he got like one chain on or one this, one that. And like Kirk, like, bro, Kirk is one of my favorite teammates of all time, bro. Like, I tell people like exactly like the guy that you see on, quarterback and, all this stuff and the podcast, all that. Like he's down to earth, solid to earth type of guy. Super duper cool. And like when he just lets his guard down and just like, be cooling with the guys, like he's so funny. And, they start putting these glasses on, they putting chains on. So every piece of jewelry you got, they just put it on him. And he's just like, hey, he got, they spin like, see, he got this big old chain and they're like spinning his chain and it's like, everybody's recording. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is going to go viral. Yeah. And it was such like I didn't even know that was gonna go as viral as it did.
Dude, it went nuclear.
But it was crazy, and it's like, of course, just because of people see Kirk as like a nerdy, kind of quirky, you know, so like to just, you know, for him to just kind of be free, having fun with his teammates, you know, he came off a big win in London. That was really cool to see. So then, but following up, you know, then they started having like the Kirko Chainz cam going around to Minnesota.
Yeah,
there always be little kids like chains out. And it was like, it will always just bring energy to the stadium. We would just crack up, man. And then it's like, I think a little bit of that, like, will follow him as Chris. He goes to Atlanta. He's doing a swag surf. Yeah. And he's like, swag surf. Like, so it's like, you know, that Kirko Chainz, that ego is coming out. Yeah. So, man, that was funny though, man. That was funny.
Kirk's the type of guy that I would want as my dad. Like, I would want to be adopted by Kirk Cousins.
Kirk is a great dude, man. Yeah. Kirk is a great. I said he's one of my favorite teammates on and off the field. Like, you know, he's older than me, so I don't know if I call him like bro, big bro, Unc. Mentor, Unc. Yeah. But man, he's a great dude, man. That's amazing. For sure.
Yeah, Madison was saying the same shit. Yeah. Right? Like, I saw you did a bounty ad also with Kirk. Yeah. I was like, dude, this is
with the wings.
With the wings, yeah.
Yeah. Kirk is so smart. Like, he's so smart. And like the questions that I remember we were at that bounty shoot, and it was some of the questions that he was asking, like about wings. He's just so intentional. Yeah. And I'm like,
he was asking about wings?
It was like, you know, like, hey Cage, you know, you like the flats or the drums or this and that. And it's like, for me, that like I was like, I'm a receiver, and you know, I got some things going on like off the field, and like, you know, busy, like whatever. So it's like some of the stuff, like, I'm not a big small talk guy, if I'm being honest. I'm not a big small talk guy. Like, if we're gonna have a conversation, we're gonna have it. If not, like, I'm probably not gonna remember it like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Kirk, for how busy he is, being a star quarterback, like, Kirk he remembers things, and he asks these intentional questions, and he remembers this stuff. Yeah. Like, if he'll come into you, like he'll come to the podcast, and he's like, Adam, what's up? Da da da. Like, man, like, how's your brother doing, Adam? Da, da, da. And he's like, bro, we talked about that like at a youth camp 10 years ago. Yeah. And he'll remember his name. Is he still in school? And I'll be like, I see Kirk do this to people. I'm like, bro, like, how does he remember that stuff? And it's like, it's amazing.
That's what makes him so likable.
Yeah, that's like, I'm not good at that. Yeah. Like, I'm going into, I remember I was at the Commanders. I'm like, I'm trying to remember everybody's name. Like, you know, I'm
the worst for fucking
I'm
names.
Terrible. I'm like, you know, the lunch ladies, this. I'm trying to, like, I want to like be with that guy. They're like, oh, this guy remembered my name. Too much. I stink.
I'm the type of person that'll be like, what's your name? Didn't even listen. Until if we're in that conversation,
I'm terrible
right?
at
like,
that.
Humberto's back there, he knows.
Terrible
if you
at
say
that.
to someone like, hey, what's your name? I didn't even hear a fucking word you just said. If we then go for 5 more minutes and I enjoyed the conversation, remind me your name again?
Yes.
Probably still forget.
I just had that conversation with somebody yesterday. I'm like, it's bad. I'll get so convicted about it because I'm like, bro, I shake your hand. I can turn my back, turn away.
Yeah, don't even listen.
And it's like I was listening, so now I try to do it myself, and I'm like, I'll shake a person's hands like Adam, and I'll try to look in the face, Adam.
You try
like remember,
and you try to bring up something like that you remember, like you know.
I'm so bad at it, bro. And I don't know if it's because I make the excuse because like I do meet a lot of people, you know. So it's like you meet people, shake hands, and then the worst is like, hey man, nice to meet you. You remember we met? I'm like,
You know, O's the mentalist. That guy he goes around and does all the shit. Yeah. So I was watching a video of him, and I think he was on a podcast, and he said it, and he was like, every single time, what he'll do afterwards is he'll leave meeting that person, go home and write it down, and then he just knows that because he wrote it down, it's somewhere also in his brain. Yeah. So now I find myself like, anytime I meet someone new, I try and create a word, like whether it be something that I identify as what they are wearing or what they're doing, or I know someone that is a friend of a friend or someone, and shit doesn't work for me though.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm working on it.
Before we kind of speed through other like Commanders, Patriots, and whatnot, and then Falcons, we talked about it early on. You brought it up, the report cards. Mm-hmm. Like, the Vikings have constantly been a team in the top 3 for the report card grading for the NFLPA stuff. So KJ Osborn is someone that's been on the Vikings. What does report cards mean? What does that actually mean to a fan when they see, like, they get an A in the dining, they get a B+ in the treatment of families? Like, how would that actually translate to someone like a fan like myself that doesn't quite understand it, but we use it as bragging rights? Because the Dolphins were number 1. I'm just going to put that out there.
And Laura, it's important, bro. Like, I feel like they give us these report cards, like, you know, like you can fill it out, and it's like kind of like kind of a quicker thing you might do in a meeting or something like that. But it really reflects like what's going, like how the players are feeling. I feel like if you're not having a good season, probably like they're gonna be worse. But some of the things you can't lie about, like the facilities. The facilities are good. The facilities good. There can be really good, like the Chiefs. They were winning, but like some of their stuff was at the bottom. Suck, yeah. They stink. So, but they really do matter, bro. And I think, like you said, like for the free agency, like players, like they're kind of peeking at that stuff, like treatment of the weight room staff and the athletic trainers and the coaches and the facilities and with the wives and families, treatment of the family. Like I remember, I'm not going to say the team, but I went to a team and I'm talking to my mom, and I'm like, I was complaining, I'm like, bro, it's this and this, and she's like, KJ, just this and no, it's just new and you gotta this and have a good attitude. I'm like, I'm trying, but I'm like, whatever. And then she comes to a game. My cousin there too. Yeah. She comes to a game. And she's after the game. I'm like, how'd y'all like the game? And so we talk about it when we get home. And I'm like, nah. I said, this whole time I was here, I'm trying to tell you. And they sit you on the lights. Yeah. And and it's raining. And I'm like, but when I was trying to tell you about it, I said, yeah. So like she's, Minnesota, they spoiled her like. Just the families, like like they come in a different entrance. They don't have to wait in the lines and the big the family food and stuff like that. It's not like that everywhere. Yeah. And that's just what we didn't know. Like we didn't know. Yeah. And she's like, man, we had to wait in this line. And I'm trying to tell these people, like, the players like to see their families on the field, even though they're warming up. They just want to peek over and know that they're there so that they can be comfortable. Like 100,000 people are there. They just want to know if their one person is there. Like that stuff matters, So like people like pay attention to it, bro. And so now I can see why people with bad report cards, they're like, get rid of them. Yeah. Because like that stuff, it really matters, bro. Like people want to feel good, like we're at those places and with those people more than we with our families. So it's like it makes sense, bro. You're like, I'm not gonna name the team, but you've been on 4 teams, so it's process of elimination. We know the Vikings are good. There's 3 more. So if you go through the report cards grading, it's funny because Woody Johnson, like with the Jets, they've always constantly been shit. Yeah. And now Woody's been the push to try and get rid of them. You see the Steelers, they are at the bottom. You see, and I was curious because I was looking at the Commanders, who you ended up playing for. I remember years ago when it was Dan Snyder, right? Yeah, that was the owner, right? Or was that the Nickelodeon guy? Maybe they hated it.
They hated it. It was horrible.
That was the year before I got there, I think, but they didn't like it.
Yeah. So it's, I guess, what it looks like day to day is actually like real. Like exactly what you see is exactly what you would imagine as the report.
Because it's like it's anonymous, like and people are gonna say like how they feel, and we can also like comment under there, like like what you really want to say. Yeah, for sure. But I feel like some things you can't lie about, like the facilities. The facilities are the facilities. But like the nutrition staff, like things like that. Like you can talk about that stuff. Like it's just different in different places. Like I said with the Cardinals, from what I've heard from players, it's just like they don't like the facilities, and I'm like, dang, like, but they have a beautiful stadium. I have a property like out there, like in Peoria. It's like not too far away from the facility or the stadium, and it does great. Like on Airbnb, it does great. I'm like, bro, they have all these golf stuff. Yeah, I'm like, they have all this golf stuff there. They got Super Bowls there, playoffs. I'm like, the facilities are not that good, and they're like, hey, no, da. So it's like it's. I guess it just depends on the owners. Like some owners just have the teams have their investment and just their portfolio, and other guys like we want to win. Yep. And that's how Minnesota is. They want to win.
And sometimes it doesn't work out because as a Dolphin fan, we're number 1.
Right. I've never been there, but I've heard about it. I'm like, dang, I heard the Dolphins spot is good. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you had Minnesota, that was 2, so it doesn't even matter. But you leave Minnesota, you go to New England, right? When I think of New England, and we don't need to talk so much about New England and some of these other stops because I think Minnesota holds the most value and weight, it seems like, with your career. But when I think of New England, you left right when Belichick had left, right? Yeah. You were in the Gerard Mayo era. So, KJ Osborn, were there any residuals from the Belichick era knowing that you had just signed with New England and Belichick was just gone? Yeah.
I think when I first got there, it was supposed to be like this like new New England, like, like kind of moving on, like, past that era. Yeah. Gerard Mayo, he played with, under Belichick. So I think, we didn't have the best success. And I think when stuff hit the fan, like you go back to your roots and you go back to what you know. So I think like a little bit of that, like kind of came out a little bit.
Yeah, I always felt like Jerome Mayo was set up for failure no matter what. He was good no matter what he was going to do.
I'm always the type of guy. I try not to believe that stuff.
Yeah.
I try,
Your glass half full.
But yeah, my cousin always tells me, like, bro, you always give people the benefit of the doubt. And I'm like, dang, like people will really do that? Because I would never do something like that. And of course, players, we don't know about that stuff. Totally. But it's like, dang, like if that happened like that sucks, bro. Because, he takes all that heat. But but I'll let you finish.
Well, no, I was just going to say, like, I think Gerard was set up for failure because Belichick, like, you just had the best coach for 2 decades. And now a new guy comes in and he's got to try and say, hey, we're going to do things differently. But how do you not? Because you don't know what this experience is going to be. And obviously, Gerard only lasts a year. So I think no matter what happened, Gerard was going to always fail. Yeah. But then you get Vrabel. And it's obviously they had all this cap space and they had all this money. But it's a very similar team led by Drake May.
One of the things I thought was interesting with the Patriots thing is we also had cap space, the year I was there with Mayo, and we didn't use it. So I was like, dang, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, did as players, did we play well? Like, no, I didn't. I don't feel like I played well. I don't think, some of my teammates played well, coaches, like, whatever. Like, I can't really speak for them, but, like, I didn't play my best ball in a couple games, that I was, played that were there. But we didn't use that money. And then when they got the new coach, they were spending. Yeah. And they were like, so I thought that was interesting, if we talk about the set up for failure and things like that. Of course, like me personally, I'm a good guy. I try not to believe that stuff. I hope it didn't go down that way. But I mean, I'll leave that to
we'll leave it at that. I mean, I think the way it ended obviously wasn't probably what you had anticipated, but I am a believer similar to what you just said, and like the shit happens for a reason. Yeah. Because then you leave New England, your release happens. And then you get to go on an NFC Championship run with the Commanders. Right. So you leave a team that was struggling. I think they had 3 wins at the time, maybe not even 3 wins. You leave New England, then you get picked up by Washington. Yeah. And Washington is, I think, like 9-5 at the time and about to go to the NFC Championship run. Yeah. So how would KJ Osborn explain the difference between a shitty vibe team that's going on and vibes are very low and you're not winning versus a team like the Commanders who's 9-5 about to go on an NFC Championship run? Like, what does that actually feel like?
Man, that was crazy, bro. I think outside of last year when I was just a complete free agent, like that was one of, I think, like second to that, like, one of the most like transformative like parts of my career, like just playing football. You know what I'm saying? Because I was at a really good organization and some of the things I didn't know that I didn't know. And I was just so used to things, and people that would come to Minnesota, they were like, man, y'all don't know how good y'all got it. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, I'm like, for real? I'm like, what you mean? Like, it's cool here. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to Jordan Mason. He's training with me. He's a running back over there in Minnesota. And he was with the 49ers as well. And I'm like, bro, you just been on 2 like really good teams that, take care of this stuff. Like, you don't know. Yeah. Like, like every place is not like that. But I just didn't know what I didn't know. And when I was at the Patriots, like, it was bad, bro. I'm not gonna lie, it was bad. And there's a lot that I kind of didn't like get to the media and to the public, because I'm just not that type of guy. But I thanked Dan Quinn and the GM over there at the Commanders. I'm like, bro, I regained my love for football back. I'm like, because there's so much going on that was like we weren't talking about football no more, and it was just different. It was a lot going on, you know what I'm saying? It was it was very difficult. So I was grateful, when I was over there with the Commanders. I'm like, yes, I want to be on the field and playing and things like that. But I'm like, even when I was when I first signed to Washington, like I hadn't practiced in a minute, bro. Like, like I said, this is stuff not the media. Like I didn't practice for a minute. Like I was in the building and stuff like that, but like I wasn't really like doing anything. You know what I'm saying? I was just kind of in meetings. And it was a lot going on. So, but when I was able to go there to the Commanders, to kind of regain like that love of football, like Dan Quinn, he runs like a high energy, type of organization. Really unselfish guys, and got to play with some good players. So like I was kind of rejuvenated. So that was good for me.
Is that rooted more so though in like winning or just the approach, like from a coaching staff? Would you say? Because obviously winning helps.
Yeah, I think the approach first, and then when people buy into that and it, produces winning, I think people, buy in more. Like, cause like I said, when I came there, I think we were 9-5. And, we didn't know we were going to go to the NFC Championship, stuff like that. And it was like we needed to lock up these, 2-3 wins to get to the playoffs. Yeah. And we were winning and winning and winning and winning. And then, like, we beat the Eagles, and it's like it was like the rival. and then we beat Tampa, and then we go like
Detroit.
we crush the Lions, and I'm like,
damn.
I'm sitting there talking to him, I'm like, bro, we probably go to the Super Bowl. Yeah. I'm like, so I was just trying to, take it in. I'm like, man, like, this has been, a hell of a year. I'm like, this is only my first year outside of Minnesota. This has been crazy.
What was the best game? What was like the most electric moment during that Commanders NFC Championship run?
The Lions for sure. Especially me being like right outside Detroit, family there, like my cousin and my homeboy, they all in the crowd talking trash to all the Lions fans, cameras in their face, like stuff like that. Especially me, being a former Viking, having played against the Lions, 2 times a year, stuff like that. Yeah. Like that was pretty cool. I wish Philly would have went like that because Philly fans are crazy too.
Philly fans are assholes.
Yeah, they're crazy. So, but it didn't go our way. But that Lions game that's probably the loudest game that I've been a part of. Yeah. Like, it was rocking in there because Detroit, like that year, they thought they was going.
I thought so too.
They thought they were going, and Detroit looked good.
Yeah,
and that's why when we was beating them, I'm like, bro, we cooking. I'm like, we sweet, and so that was cool to be a part of, man. Yeah. I was grateful for it all, like the highs and the lows, and even. Me leaving New England, like, I had, like, nothing but love for all my teammates there. Yeah. And I was even happy to see him go to the Super Bowl. I shot a text to Drake, some of the guys I'm cool with Pop. I love seeing those guys succeed. So that's been cool.
Yeah, I think what I'm noticing the most with you is just relationships matter to you.
Yeah.
Not that it doesn't with other people, but, like, relationships really matter to you. Yeah. And as you're also saying, like, it's very easy for you to see the good in people. Mm-hmm. And I think, like, there's a point after we talk Falcons quickly that I am curious from a philanthropic standpoint because you're extremely into giving back in some ways. But yeah, I think it's a really cool, like, trait that I'm picking up from you, that you are very much a people person, even though you don't remember anyone's fucking name. Right. Because I can't either. I'm the same exact way. But you give people the benefit of the doubt, and that's a great trait. But obviously Washington, fun stint. You have time there, but then you get released and cut. I think it was in training camp, right? And then you go months before you get picked up by the Falcons. We could talk Atlanta. I could spend an hour, especially because my quarterback is now the quarterback there, and that breaks my heart. So we're not going to go there.
Yeah.
But I am curious because I'm a sucker for wide receivers. I love fantasy football. I've always played fantasy football. You went to Atlanta, you were with Drake London. You were in Minnesota, you had Jjettas. You were in Washington, you were playing with Terry McLaurin. Yeah. Like, you've seen 3 alpha wide receiver ones. KJ Osborn, what does an alpha wide receiver one actually look like to a player versus a fan?
That's a good question, Adam. That is a good question because they come in all different shapes and sizes.
You got little small guy, Tyreek. Like,
they're dominant, bro. They're dominant. They Cam Newton would say they're game changers.
Yeah.
Even like when Terry wasn't in training camp, with the contract stuff, it was a little different.
You felt that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just these great players, like I said, just around the league, whatever position, like, they're like erasers, where it's like, okay, like, the O-line missed the block, other receivers got locked up, Terry beat his guy one-on-one, we bomb and we score. And this, we talk about it on Monday or Tuesday, whatever. They're dominant, bro. And they got different personalities. Terry's quiet. Terry don't talk that much. JJ is more fun, you know what I'm saying, go and joke with you, whatever. Drake's a little bit like that, but Drake, when he gets on the field, I only play with him like for a little bit. Yeah. He's fiery, bro. Yeah. Like, fiery. Like, like, he's competitive. Like, something going wrong, he's slamming his helmet. He's like, bro, give me the ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? Terry's definitely not like that. Yeah. JJ's not really like that, but if you know him, like, he's got a quiet way about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's McCardell. That was funny in my head. It's McCardell, it's me. Like, we gonna get it to you. You gonna get it to him. It's KO. I'm sitting down. JJ's next to me. McCardell. It's KO. I have no targets, and it's the fourth quarter. He comes, look right at me. He turns and look at JJ like, we gonna get it to you, bro. Like, we gonna get you in the end zone. Bro, just keep, like, and I'm like, so like they gonna get it to him, bro. Yeah. That's one thing I loved about KO, like, him being a former player and an offensive guy, like, he don't get his guys to rock, bro. Yeah. I remember one time we were in, this was like the last time I had played with Kirk, like when he had got hurt at the Packers, and I finished the game with 99 yards. But like, we're playing and I'm doing well. And I got a JJ moment. Yeah. KO comes up to me like, bro, just keep catching and getting vertical, bro. I'm going to get you to 100. I'm like, yeah, I like this. That's how I rock with you. I appreciate that. And like the last offensive play, like, he gave me a screen. taking a couple yards, get tackled. We come off the field. Reporter, like, she's like, yeah, you had 99 yards. I was like, no. Yeah. So I should have just, like, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, I guess going back to answer your question, I mean, they all come in, like, different shapes, sizes, forms, but they're all dominant. They win one-on-one. I love, like, A.J. Brown. Like I say, he's one of my favorites. Yeah. They win one-on-one. They got an attitude about them, you know, and they catch everything.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up on time, so I'd like to finish everything with a few social questions, right? Yeah. We can fuck around. Like, you've been gracious with your time. I like to think that I am, even though I'm not, but I like to think I am the CEO of like top fives.
Yeah.
For years now, I've been asking people top fives.
Yeah.
And I think we've gotten to a place where like it gets weird. So KJ Osborn, who are the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL, excluding Justin Jefferson?
Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra, JSN, A.J. Brown. What is that? That was
JSN, Amon-Ra, A.J. Brown, Jamar Chase.
One more?
We need one more. Now, granted, you play with Jjettas too, so that's why it's important.
Right, but you said without Jjettas.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's why we're like, Jjettas would probably be there. But
Puka, I'm tripping.
Oh,
Puka.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's that's a good 5. Like, I would take that 5. That's a starting 5 roster. That's like, we can go up. That's East versus West, all-star caliber
so many, like, those conversations can get, like, especially, like, when they ask, like, I don't know. Like I said, like, when you said, like, describe, you know, JJ. I'm like, you know, well, how in-depth can we go?
Yeah.
Because some of these guys, like, you talk about, like, who's the best receiver, who's the best route runner.
Yeah.
And guys, you know, they might talk about a guy that just got crazy stats, like, he almost had 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, a fan.
Yeah.
But receivers who were watching the film and were watching, like, the route running and, like, the art of the game, you know what I'm saying? It's like, these guys run really good routes. Like, Amari Cooper was my favorite player growing up. So, like, you know, he was, like, people like Amari Cooper, like Calvin Ridley, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, well, they may not have, you know, 1,800, almost 2,000 yards, but look at their routes. Like Keenan Allen, obviously Devontae Adams. Like, we're talking about like the body of work of the game, not just the stats.
Yeah.
And I think a couple years ago, like when Tyreek, you know, almost had 2,000 yards, like, you know, that was a big conversation. Not that he can't run routes, he can run, you know, he runs great routes.
Yeah.
But you know, some of these guys are just being like real like technicians, and that's where you see some names where people are like, no, like what?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, his route running, like in his release to, you know, the top of route to catch, like, is really good. So like that, some of that stuff can get fiery.
I like it. And last but not least, I've been doing this, and it's something I want to carry over for each episode, which is I like to ask whoever I interview to propose a question to the next athlete without knowing who it is.
Yeah.
So Mitch Morse proposed a question to you.
All right.
And that question was, on last week's episode, what's one NFL hill you're willing to die on? And his example he gave was the tush push should not be banned because it has nothing to do with safety. It has everything to do with you can't stop it. So what's your one NFL hill you're willing to die on?
Oh, my God.
It could be anything. It could be serious. It could be unserious. It could be...
Dang, can I phone a friend?
Yeah, of course.
Like, is there something I always talk about that a hill to die on? I'm trying to think.
Ooh.
About,
complain about it, but you say you rather just play like early afternoon and get it over with instead of waiting around all day.
Yeah, I don't know if I would die on that hill, but that is true. Sometimes that is true. I'll be like, bro, like, I just wish we can just play, like, especially in Minnesota, we played at 12.
Yeah.
So I just want to play at 12 and go home.
Yeah.
You know, a hill that I'm willing to die on. Dang, that is a good question though. How about? I feel like I've heard some DBs say like DB is harder than quarterback, or like DB is the hardest position. While like DB is very hard, like they're playing backwards, like, you know, they can't touch us as much, you can't hit us like this and that. But I don't think people really understand how hard quarterback is.
I think it's the hardest position
like,
in sports.
Just the 25, 45 seconds before the snap, like to get guys out of the huddle, to get them lined up, to be watching the play clock, to watch the defense, to everybody motion, to the cadence, and then, you know, getting the line protected, getting the running back protected, and then you got the guy who don't know the play, so you got to, you know, signal it to him, and then the defense is shifting, and you like to see all that's in this time, and coaches talking to you, and everybody's yelling, and then for them to snap the ball, you got to have your footwork right, you got to run for Myles Garrett and Michael Parsons, and then you got to do the hardest part, actually throw it, you know. I don't think people realize like how hard quarterback is, and that's why like, bro, I have a job, but like, you know, in the media, like you said, like, you know, like to me, like everybody just wants to like crush guys, bro, and it's like I feel like, if you're not a former player, like it's just like I just wish people would just have a little bit more grace, like, bro, like you can't do what he's doing. I feel like as a man, like, bro, if I can't do a 360 dunk, I'm not gonna tell you that dunk was weak. And like, bro, like go home, you suck. Like, bro, I can't do that.
Like,
you know
if you can't score 83 points in a game, you're not gonna say, bam,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you respect
it?
Yeah, I respect it. Like, he did it. You know, like he in the NBA, he's not playing against JV.
Yeah.
Like, he did it. And I think some of these guys, bro, like they crush people, bro. And it's like,
so that's the hill you're dying on. Quarterback is a harder position than corner.
Yeah.
And that's strictly directed towards corners. Because they're the ones that say the opposite.
They're the ones that's. I hear guys, you know, they're the ones that's saying it.
Last but not least, though, what's yours? What's the question that KJ Osborn's proposing to the next guest? Could be anything. Emotionally driven, nonsensically driven. Putting you on the spot here.
Right. I'm gonna try to get to it then. One of them is, I'll maybe ask their real, no media bias, no media training. Do they actually enjoy the overseas games? Do they actually enjoy them? Because from the player, from the fan, this is cool. This is like, you know, like the NFL, like we want to have fans overseas. And like as us players, like, you know, we like going over there as well. Like when we get a chance to interact with them, but like, and the couple times that I've been over there, like, bro, it's like we on lockdown, bro. And it's like, I remember like Minnesota the first time, I was so tired and I was pissed because like we get off the plane, we don't even go to the hotel. I'm a guy like, I get off the plane, I go to my hotel, I unpack my bag, I lay everything out, I get comfortable and like, all right, well, let's do what we're gonna do. We get off the plane, we go straight to meetings, we go straight to practice.
So rigid.
It's raining. Yeah. And we like, you know, be careful with your steps, like, you know, like whatever. And then like finally we get to go to the hotel because they don't want us to go to sleep. And it's like, bro, and then like we get like an hour of, you know, first of all, we're staying far from London. The only reason we got a chance to go to London for 20 minutes is because we had Pat Pete. Yeah. So we like, bro, Pat Pete, like, come on, like text KO, like let him, like, you know, tell him to let us go. And he's like, bro, I got y'all. He let us go out, you know, we rushing through the mall, trying to, you know, just like explore, you know what I'm saying? Like be like, you know, be in London. And you probably got like 30 minutes, and then you got to go back because you got meetings and curfew, whatever. So like we don't really get to like explore, you know what I'm saying? Like these places that we go like that. Yeah. Like, but they're cool for the fan. And when you get to the game.
No, they're not. I don't fucking like them.
I mean, for the overseas fan, you know what I'm saying? Because when you see their faces and, you know, they don't always know what's going on and stuff like that. And they got all different types of jerseys on. I think when you get there, like for me personally, like, it's worth it, and I enjoy it. But some people hate it though. Like some people like hate it. Like they like no. And I remember like a year or two ago, I think the Jags had 2 games over there in a row, and they had to stay there. And then even Minnesota last year, they played 2 games back to back. You know, so it's like everybody has different opinions. So I personally I'm cool with it, but some guys really don't like it.
Well, I'm curious. That's a good question. Yeah, I'm excited. Well, KJ, dude, you were more than gracious with your time. I think the biggest thing I took away, and I was saying it earlier, is that you are humble, genuine, honest, and like I think who you are as a person, even though you wear a helmet, who you are as a person is, I think, something that I very much resonate with, and I hope others do. Yeah. But I can't thank you enough, man. You've been. Sure, man. I could go for 5 hours talking ball with you. You're the man. I appreciate it,
man. Thank you for having me on, man. For sure. Much love.